Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about the ruler of the first house posited in the seventh house in a natal horoscope. Well, people with this placement can obviously have strong issues or strong interest, I should say, in legal matters, just legalities in general. Partnerships can figure prominently in this person's life scheme of relationships, in general, can be paramount for this person. Their personality may likely be very strongly expressed through seventh house matters such as, relationships and partnerships. This could be somebody that could excel in a profession connected, with something, judicial, or something like being a judge, an attorney, anything, connected, with the law, paralegal. Another example, I think relationships, can bring out, the best in these people. And on the negative side, though, somebody, has this placement, if it's adversely aspected or has predominantly negative aspects, it could be somebody that could be disputatious and, somebody that, is very, super competitive and not always, not always, I guess we could say, the easiest, person to be around due to the fact that they can, have that certain, I guess you could say that disputatious, on sometimes argumentative nature that could be connected if it has predominantly negative aspects. The ruler, this could be somebody that can bring out, has competitive zeal, in constructive ways. Someone that could be enamored with like sports competition, and whether an active participant or not, somebody, more likely than not, they're involved, in sports, recreational level, perhaps somebody, that thrives on competition, and, a person that it really, really, likes to be, competing with others. This could be a person that, has an ability to form, strong, sustained relationships with others, and could be somebody that really just has that, that strong desire to do things, with others in group-oriented settings. Somebody that would, more likely than not would function better, like even, in a business, maybe co-owning a business, operating it with somebody else as opposed to, just running a business by his or herself. And these people often feel more comfortable when, I guess you could say, having a partnership kind of situation. Now, a lot, of course, depends, on the aspects that this makes. And if it has predominantly, the ruler has predominantly good aspects, this is somebody, as stated before, can flourish in partnership settings, makes many relationships, can be very, could be immensely popular and have many people gravitate toward him or her. But on the other side of the coin, if the ruler has predominantly adverse or negative aspects, it could be somebody that can, have, there can be certain, turbulent relationships, and a lot of, many, relationships that are disputatious and that can be contentious. So a lot of this is dependent on the, how the ruler is placed. I had a friend some time ago, and I had looked at his chart, and he had Leo rising, and had his chart ruler, the sun, was in Aquarius in the seventh house. Now, not only you have these two, the rising sign and a sun sign were so diametrically opposed in nature, he also, I believe, had a long conjunction that was made from that sun sign to his rising sign. And you have two fixed signs and they're so diametrically opposed and such a disparity in nature, I would imagine it could have made him, somewhat, have possibly, contentious relationships and certain, maybe number of squabbles with others, basically because of this. And also, when you have your chart ruler that makes an adverse aspect to, if your first house ruler makes an adverse aspect to your ascendant, sometimes you may not always, know who you're, going to get with on one day to the next. You might see someone with a certain demeanor or disposition one day, and, then a person might have something else the next. So anyway, well, people, I just wanted to get with you on that, and stay tuned for my next video where I'll be dissertating and talking about the ruler of the first house posited in the 8th house in a natal horoscope. And until next time, people, stay well.